Welcome to another Coffee and Commerce Chat. This week's topic, well, by week I mean month's topic, is earnest money. So what the heck is earnest money or an earnest money deposit? Earnest money is what a buyer will present within an offer to a seller as basically good faith money. It's meaning that I am honestly interested in this home. Why is that important? The importance of earnest money is to make sure that buyers aren't going out and willy-nilly making offers on, let's say, 3 homes. Let's say that Tom, Dick, and Harry are each selling their homes, and Margaret is interested in buying the homes. She goes and she views all 3 homes, and she just can't really decide which one she wants to go for. So she makes an offer on all 3 of them, offering up earnest money. Let's say, just for easy numbers, $2,000 on each of them. As the process goes on, each of them accepts her offer. What a lucky gal. That would never happen in this market, but they accept the offer, which means they take their homes off of the market and they're no longer viewed as an active listing. They're not getting pushed out to you by all these different real estate websites, right? So in that time, she ends up deciding that she really likes Tom's home, so she goes with that. Dick and Harry are actually going to end up keeping that earnest money because she broke the terms of the purchase and sale agreement, which means that that earnest money goes to them, the $2,000, and then she would proceed with her sale with Tom. The importance of this is so that buyers aren't going out and just making an offer on every single home that they see without any repercussions, because those sellers, let's say Dick and Harry, they took their home off of the market, and that could negatively impact the ability to sell their home. I mean, because let's be real, what's the first thing that you think about when you see a home come back on the market? Ooh, I wonder what's wrong with it. And there might not be anything wrong with it. There might be something wrong with it. In this instance, there wasn't anything wrong with the home. There was something wrong with the financing or the intent of the buyer. So what usually happens with earnest money? So in the purchase and sale agreement, it's going to detail out how long you have to furnish that earnest money to, and especially, at least in Kittitas Valley, I don't know anyone who doesn't use an escrow agent. This is just a third party that takes charge of that money and helps with the closing process. So you're going to furnish that earnest money to them within the timeline stated within the purchase and sale agreement, and that is where the money will go. Okay, but then where does the money go? So you make it all the way through the process. Inspection, appraisal, financing, everything is good. That money typically will then be used for closing costs or down payment, or depending on the size of the earnest money, maybe a little bit of both. So here's the big one. Is it refundable? There are going to be contingencies in any purchase and sale agreement that you create, in most of them at least. So I think the big 3 are going to be financing, inspection, and appraisal. Consider these like off-ramps, right? These are opportunities that if during, let's say, the inspection process, you go in there and you find just some things that are really, really wrong. Oops, there's a leaky roof. And the buyer and seller can't come to an agreement. The buyer could say, nope, I'm out. They get their earnest money back. The buyer and the seller could try and negotiate and come up with a fix. Maybe it falls through, maybe it doesn't work out. I'm out. Buyer gets their earnest money back. The same can happen with the appraisal. If the home does not appraise at the price point that you have made the offer, because keep in mind, value and what you offer aren't exactly the same thing. I could go out there and offer $700,000 on a home, but if it's only valued at $300,000 on the market, it doesn't matter that I want to pay $700,000. No lender wants to lend me that kind of money for something that isn't worth it. That would be another off-ramp if the appraisal falls through. The third one would be the financing contingency, if you cannot secure financing. Ooh. And there is one more. Contingent upon the sale of your home. This has been kind of a tougher contingency in this market, just because people really want to move. But the 4th contingency that could act as an off-ramp is contingent upon the sale of your home. If for some reason your home does not sell, doesn't close, whatever might happen that is the breakdown there, you as the buyer in this situation would get that money back, the earnest money, because you did everything in good faith that you could to get your purchase to close, and it just wasn't possible because your financing is tied up in your sale that had some sort of breakdown. So there are 4 things you can do to safeguard your earnest money. 1 is to use an escrow agent. You should not be furnishing this money over directly to the seller, because who knows, maybe they're going to spend all that money on coffee, or maybe they're going to go out and they're going to buy a new car. Escrow agent, third party, someone that's unbiased. The second thing is to be familiar with your contingencies, because this is going to tie into the third thing. Know what your responsibilities are. You need to know the dates that the inspection is expected by, when the appraisal will happen, and if you need to use one of those off-ramps, it's going to be detailed in your purchase and sale how many days you have to give notice to the seller that you wish to exercise one of those off-ramps. So just be aware of your responsibilities. And number 4, put it all in writing. If it's not in writing, it's not real. So that's a really big one to remember. Put it in writing. Number 4. To close, it might feel like earnest money is just another added expense and like it's kind of hard to keep track of, but it's something that is meant to protect you as the buyer and to protect the seller. In addition to, it's just putting that money aside, and it's going to be something you can utilize for closing costs and for the deposit. So this is your little brief tutorial on earnest money. Please stay caffeinated, my friends. Know exactly what you have added.